Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 356, The Eternals by Jack Kirby. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Howdy.
Howdy. How's it going?
Pretty well.
That's good.
Pretty well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Jack Kirby.
He's pretty great. So, should all things go according to schedule, this episode will drop on August 28th, which is Jack Kirby's 100th birthday, should he be alive.
Right? And we all know that he really is.
He's like Elvis.
Him and Elvis and Tupac are living in a cabin together. Making sweet songs, comics, and songs.
There's only two people out of that group that I respect.
Tupac and who?
Jack Kirby.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Is this our first Jack Kirby comic?
No, it is not.
Okay. We did the crime comic.
Yeah,
right?
in the days of the mob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our first, I'd say, traditional Jack Kirby comic.
Right, yeah.
What people normally think of when they think of Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. In fact, like, I have never read this before.
Uh-huh.
I've never even looked at the Eternals before.
Right.
And I love Jack Kirby, but I've just never looked at him.
Sure.
This is one of the most Jack Kirby looking things I've ever seen.
It's pretty much the Jack Kirbyist.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, some of the Fourth World stuff is, like, pretty Kirby-ish.
Yeah.
And some of the Silver Surfer stuff is pretty... But, like, there's not a page in this book that doesn't look like, oh, yeah, Jack Kirby did that.
Right. The only thing that it is missing is just random collages.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad, though. Like, I think it's interesting he did collages, but
They're a little jarring.
it's one of my least favorite things he ever did.
No, I agree with you.
But they're kind of cool.
Right.
But not in, like, I would love to have one on my wall.
Sure.
Or, like, have a book, like an art book of all of his collages, but it kind of, like, maybe...
It takes you out of the story.
Yeah, when all of a sudden Mr. Fantastic's, like, in front of a collage or something.
Right.
It's like, okay.
I would say this definitely rivals, if not surpasses, his New God stuff as far as, just the Kirby-fied, just Kirby to the bone.
Kirby to the bone? Yeah. It is. The marrow in this book tastes like Jack Kirby. I think it doesn't, well, it helps that, pretty much, 99% of the characters in this book are, like, in, like, crazy Kirby costumes.
Right.
So there's, like, maybe 2 or 3 humans that you see on a regular basis.
Well,
and
sure. Yeah.
Everybody else is, like, in those weird helmets and armor and craziness.
Yeah. Sorry, there was a weird noise and I got scared. Yeah.
Maybe it was the Celestials coming. That
Ooh.
harkened to their return.
Oh, the space gods.
The space gods. So should we talk about the story?
I suppose we should.
Yeah.
So I, have never read this before either.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you
Nope.
had peeked into it.
I mean, when I got the book, I flipped through it, but I hadn't read it. The closest thing, I read part of the Neil Gaiman John Romita Eternals comic, and I remember there being some sort of Eternals related Max book that came out in the mid-2000s.
I don't even remember that.
I want to say Chuck Austin wrote it, and my friend Bruce was a huge fan of it. And that is literally all I remember of it.
I know I've seen, didn't Walt Simonson do it? Or,
I think you're thinking of New Gods.
maybe, or Mark Texiera? Did he do
I don't know.
Eternals thing? Somebody did one.
I know there was an Eternals mini-series in the mid-'80s, and I think Walt Simonson wrote some of those. Like, he wrote, the last 4 issues.
Okay.
I mean, that certainly seems like a thing Mark Texeira could have like just randomly drawn.
I feel like in my brain there's a cover at least by Texeira.
Right. And then there was a series in the late 2000s or late aughts. That didn't last very long. I don't remember anything about that one.
But this is the OG.
This is OG Eternals.
Yeah.
As Kirby intended, which, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there right now. There is a large portion of this book where, like, people freak out because there are superpowered beings among them.
Yeah.
And the Eternals, the Deviants, and the Celestials, and Space Gods, and this and that and the other, and people with powers, and everybody just reacts as if, oh my god, this can't actually be happening.
Yeah.
But then... but then also it's revealed that this firmly takes place in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, like there's S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
Yep. There's a slight appearance by the Thing.
Oh yeah, somebody's in a Thing Halloween costume or something, right?
He gets his face turned into Thing's face.
Oh, that's what it is, yeah.
Because the Eternals are showing off their powers. And everybody knows who it is.
Right.
And that he's part of the Fantastic Four.
That is weird.
So why do people freak out?
I bet it's one of those things where it didn't start out in the Marvel Universe, and Marvel was probably like, we gotta incorporate this into the
I guess.
fold.
Yeah. It's one of those things that always bothers me. Like this is a thing that's always bothered me about the X-Men. Is that, everybody fears and hates them because they're superpowered mutants.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody gives a shit about the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, who are superpowered.
Well, they're not mutants.
Well, they're not mutants.
Yeah.
But, there's a very fine line. And so, it's just like, well, if you can accept those people, why can't you accept the X-Men?
But can't you say that about all forms of racism?
Also true. I realized as I was saying this that,
No, you're right, though.
Yeah,
You're right. I mean, in that world, the reason that they fear them is that they're superpowered and weird.
Right.
But that's the same as, the Hulk or, whoever. But yeah, I think that maybe that is, it's either, sloppy writing, or it is just one more reason that racism is fucking retarded.
Well, I mean, did racism need any more reasons to be fucking retarded?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And we don't get political, but if you're listening to this and you are a fan of Donald Trump, seriously, just reevaluate your brain.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And
also,
and that's coming from us. I mean,
we're dumb.
We're dumb, but man, we're way better people than him.
And I'm gonna go a little further. If you're a Donald Trump supporter, stop listening to us. I mean, I don't want you around.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I took it
because whether you're a racist or not, you support a man who supports Nazis.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible.
Jack Kirby would hate you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would hate Donald Trump.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Jewish things, there's the leader of the fourth cycle or whatever they're called.
The fourth host.
The fourth host. Erisham.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that the most Jewish name?
Probably.
It sounds very Jewish.
Yeah.
So is he trying to say maybe there's the Celestials are somehow future Jews? Or
some of the names of the hosts all seem to have sort of a Hebrew sort of slant to their names, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised at all if he maybe put some of his own faith.
Oh yeah,
there,
because there's a lot of things in this book about old gods and even how the deviant crow inspired all of our biblical versions of the devil. Yeah. So there's a lot of ties into that.
Right.
But I like that a lot about this book, how it's talking about just where belief comes from and where our gods come from.
Right. I think, if I recall correctly, that Kirby sort of took his inspiration also a little bit from a book called Chariots of the Gods,
Okay.
which is, I want to say, a book that came out in the early 60s that was basically postulated that, ancient space travelers came to Earth and basically
Deposited us here.
well, sort of, or also just at least molded, humanity to be on the path it's on, and, the reason that we have pyramids and other, like, sort of almost unexplained phenomena, was because it was brought here by ancient technology,
Right.
from space gods,
It
basically.
It makes sense.
Right? So,
Jack Kirby is probably not of this world.
you could definitely say that.
Yeah.
It's weird that you say that. I think I've mentioned it before, I don't know. But, there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon from a couple years ago. And, it was the last traditionally animated one, not computer animated.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an episode where I think it was either Leonardo or Donatello, goes to heaven. And he winds up meeting a cartoonist who can bring things to life with his pencil, and it's all these crazy Jack Kirby inspired, sort of creations, and basically it's Jack Kirby,
right? Yeah. I think that was Donatello because I think that's based on the one shot, the original.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that story is really similar to the Donatello one shot, if not the exact same.
Okay, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've read it, but I think that was similar. Yeah. But I have seen that cartoon, and that was awesome.
Pretty awesome, yeah. And also, there was an issue of the Wade and Waringo Fantastic Four, where I want to say it's Ben Grimm goes to heaven, and he meets the creator, and it's Jack Kirby.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
So Jack Kirby might be a god.
Probably.
Yeah. His output certainly
was godlike.
Yeah.
I mean, in 7 days, he did 7 pages.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about average for any.
Well, no, he probably did 7 pages per day. I mean.
Oh, yeah. What was it? So part of the reason why I picked this book, other than to help celebrate Jack's, centennial, was that also I've been on a huge Kirby kick for the last couple of months.
Right.
After 30-some years of being a comic book fan and not owning a single Jack Kirby comic.
That's weird.
Uh-huh. Well, it's only been about 8 years since I decided, oh yeah, I really like Jack Kirby. So, I'm late to the game on most of this. But
at least you're in the game now.
Exactly. At least I'm not trying to argue that Steve Ditko is better.
Oh my lord, that happened at my work yesterday. This guy came in talking about... just melted my brain. He was surprised that I thought Jack Kirby was a better artist than Steve Ditko.
Wow.
And then
why would anyone be surprised at that?
And then, my favorite part, though, was he threw out... He's like, come on, Spider-Man, come on. And I was like, Jack Kirby drew Spider-Man before Steve Ditko, right? And he was like, what? I was like, I think we're done here.
Yeah. So, in all this, I've been reading stuff here and there, and apparently, when he went over to DC, part of his contract was that he had to output something like 50 pages a week or something like that. Completely drawn, inked, and edited. And I was like, that is insane.
That can't be that many, right?
I don't know.
Was it 15 pages a week, maybe?
I don't know.
50 seems like even a lot for him.
Right.
Because I thought he did 2 to 3 a day or something.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure. It was still, whatever it is an insane number.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine doing 15 pages a week, as a professional.
Right.
If I didn't have anything else I needed to do.
Right.
That'd be crazy.
Right. And then also, have, Vince Coletta erasing half of what you do anyway.
Right?
Who, I don't believe is an inker on this book at all.
No, I think Mike Royer's a lot of the inks.
Yeah.
And another guy, too, but... somebody...
John Veerputin.
Yeah, I don't remember him. The Poots.
Yep. But, I think maybe this was at the point when Kirby finally had enough of Vince. So this comic book, it's out there.
Yeah. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
It's available digitally, easily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In print, not so much.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find the single issues of this book pretty easily.
Yeah.
Other than maybe number 1, but we see them a lot, and I've seen them in cheap bins and stuff like that. But yeah, this trade apparently is pretty rare.
Yep. There's 2 trades which collect all 19 issues and the annual, and then there's an omnibus which has it all, and all of them out of print.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not, the Eternals isn't, the most popular Marvel comic ever, or even in the top 20 most popular Marvel comics ever, but...
So, I've noticed this lately, especially in my attempt to track down Kirby stuff to buy. A lot of it is out of print, and I've also discovered that a lot of I think I actually discovered this when I was looking for the Question trade paperback.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of out-of-print books out there that you'd think would be nobody really is looking for that.
Right.
That go for hundreds of dollars.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I just read the other day, Greg Rucka, had a run on The Punisher 5 years ago. Maybe 6-7 years ago. And they're all out of prints now, the trade paperbacks. And they're going for $50-$60 on Amazon.
That's ridiculous.
It's a Greg Rucka Punisher comic. Why?
I have to wonder though how many of those actually sell. I think it's one of those things where once something's out of print, there's this unspoken agreement amongst comic book sellers on Amazon. Okay, then we can charge an insane amount of money for it, and just hopefully we sell a couple or whatever.
Right.
'Cause I mean, you look on eBay and a lot of times stuff doesn't go as much on eBay, but it's just not on eBay.
Right.
But if you see it on Amazon, it's $100 or whatever.
Right.
And you think it might be more 25 would make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I usually try to hold out, and see if I can find a cheap deal somewhere, or with the Question, just getting super lucky after a 10-year search,
Right.
and finding it for $15 at a local store.
Yeah, which is nice.
Right. But so this copy of the Eternals is probably the most I've ever paid for a trade paperback.
Oh wow, really?
I paid close to $80 for this thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I had found it on eBay for about $40 and bought it, and the eBay seller never shipped it to me. And then after the 2 weeks or so delivery time that it was supposed to take with no tracking number, suddenly they relisted it for about $80. And so
Shady.
Yep, super shady. But I found another seller on Amazon who was selling it for about $75 and said, well, this is probably the only way I'm ever going to get this thing.
Wow.
So I paid for it. And then they shipped it to me in the flimsiest packaging I've ever seen any book ever shipped to me, and it had a sticker on the cover.
Oh, yeah.
$80.
Isn't that crazy?
It's fun.
Commerce.
Yep.
So odd.
Which, normally I don't care, because I'm going to read it, and I'm just going to put it on a shelf, and, I'm not going to put it in a vault or anything.
Right. You're not planning on reselling it for more money later.
Right. But, for the amount of money I paid for it,
you'd think it would be a nicer...
a little care into the packaging would be nice.
Right.
Well... So we've talked about almost everything but this comic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I think we were going to talk about the story.
Yeah.
It starts off with some explorers.
Yeah, an archaeologist and his daughter, and then just a dude with a camera.
And some sunglasses.
And some nice sunglasses and a ball cap. Ike Harris. Yep. So they're where are they? Are they in Egypt?
I can't remember.
Mexico maybe.
I honestly don't remember.
They're looking for Incan burial grounds. So,
Detroit?
Gonna guess Detroit. Yeah,
It's probably Detroit.
maybe Toronto.
He's looking. He's reading the comic.
I am.
This is good radio.
Yep. Yeah,
It doesn't say.
No,
But they're in like an old temple.
Old tomb and temple. Yep.
So it's got to be Detroit.
Yep. We remember all those RoboCop stories that took place in the ancient temples of Detroit.
Oh my god, that sounds like a great Frank Miller RoboCop script.
So they're gone exploring, and they uncover evidence of an ancient race that may or may not have come from space to bring life to Earth.
Deep within the burrows of this tomb,
Yes.
like down many paths that Ike Harris seems to sniff out like a bloodhound from outer space.
Yep. And so while they're messing around and they see like all this evidence and cool looking
Jack Kirby stuff.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Just crazy. Fucking crazy Kirby stuff.
Yeah. And so you're the expert on this. When did Alien come out?
79.
79.
Mm-hmm.
So this came out I think in 76.
Oh. Yeah.
And there's some stuff in that temple.
Oh yeah.
That very much reminds me of like
space jockey stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Totally. Yep.
So methinks Hey Really Giger maybe a little bit of a rip-off artist.
Yeah.
Or a fan of Kirby's.
Yeah, could be. No, there's nothing new under the sun.
It's true. It is true.
Not that Giger's ever been under the sun.
I don't like that joke.
So they're in the temple.
Yeah. And so they're messing around with some stuff, and they wind up summoning the space gods to Earth.
As one does.
Sure. And Ike Harris reveals himself for what he really is. He is an Eternal named Icarus.
Yeah. He's cleverly disguised his name as Ike Harris.
And he blows these people's minds.
Yep. Because he's been alive forever.
Yeah.
Or,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Since the dawn of humanity.
Yeah.
So basically it's revealed that these ancient space gods came to the Earth and basically kickstarted life by doing experiments on monkeys.
Yeah.
As one does.
That's right. It's still going on today.
Yep. And 3 dominant forms of life came from that. Deviants, which are
like you.
like me.
Yeah.
Humans,
like me.
like you, and Eternals, like Joe G.
Like Joe G. That's right.
Perfect and ever living.
Yeah. That's right.
So the Deviants are like this race of sort of creepy, malformed monsters that,
they're like, they never know how they're gonna mutate. They don't really, I mean, there's a few that look similar to one another, but there's just, it's like this crazy variety of weird monsters.
They're monsters.
Yeah.
Which brings me up to something else that happens in the comic, but we'll get there. And then normal humans as we know them, and then the Eternals who basically all moved to the top of a mountain and all basically were perfect and had powers.
So the Eternals hid in the mountains, the Deviants hid
went underground.
Yeah, in the caverns of Earth.
Yep.
Uh,
And basically both played into sort of the myths of gods and devils that we all know and love. And then we meet some other Eternals eventually.
oh yeah.
And they're all basically named after the myths of legend that we all know, like Mercury and Circe and Athena and Zeus. But they all have slightly tweaked names.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mercury is awesome. I like that one.
Yeah.
He's a great one.
Yeah.
Makari is what it looks like.
Yep. And then they always complain about how humans always get their name
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
Which was funny.
Yeah.
There's a few funny things in this book.
Yeah. So basically, so they've accidentally unleashed signaled the space gods.
Yeah, because I guess they've been judging humanity in cycles for millennia,
Right.
and this is the fourth and final judgment, and they're going to see where we're at and if we're worth killing or leaving alive.
Right. And so the Deviants also surface, and they're there to try to kill the space gods because they know that the space gods are probably going to judge us harshly.
When they should.
Because well, let's see. So this book came out in '76, so it's only been 40 years in the cycle. There's a 50-year cycle where they stand in judgment of us.
Oh yeah. So
in 10 more years.
wow. Yeah, I don't think it looks good.
No. Based on what we see today.
Yeah, like just open your Twitter feed or news feed or whatever. Yeah. I think they were hoping for a lot more Star Trek style future, where we all get along and like.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, right. I mean, at least the flying hoverboards I was hoping for, as if not the cashless carrying society, at least the hoverboards, but neither one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I barely carry around cash.
Well, that's true.
And quite a few people I know actually don't. You do because you only get paid in cash.
Yeah.
So the Deviants then decide that they're going to basically pull sort of like a Watchmen type situation, where they're going to try to unite all of humanity by basically pretending to be demons and the devil.
Right? Yeah.
And then go around destroying New York. So Icarus and Margot, the young human lady, they take off to New York, leaving behind Dr. Damien, her father, in the Incan Temple, which has been sealed off due to the arrival of the space guys.
And he's just there to die. And, I mean, he's going to do research and live with the Eternals that are in there.
Yeah,
Ajax, yeah.
Who looks kind of like a weird sort of
Asgardian kind of. Yeah.
So Jack Kirby loves him some crazy looking gods.
Crazy helmets.
Yep.
Weird design. Yeah. They're so awesome looking.
And so then basically over the course of 11 issues, we get slowly introduced to like the Eternals.
Yeah. Right.
Which reminded me a lot of like modern day comics.
Yeah.
I mean, usually for a comic of the time when this came out, usually like the first issue we've met the entire team.
That's
and
true.
gotten all of their origins.
That's true. Yeah.
And throughout this, like it takes issues for characters to come together and meet and
oh yeah. And there's sometimes the main characters aren't really present in an entire issue. Like number 9 of this series is my favorite issue by far.
Yeah.
It's the one where Athena goes down to the Deviants lair and watches the like gladiator style fights.
Yeah.
That was such a good issue. Yeah. And you could just read that issue,
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, I mean, you could just read it a single issue of this book, like in any order.
Yeah.
And like, I mean,
you might be. I mean, there's a few recap things. There's like a little text recap at the
Yeah.
beginning.
but I don't think like it's able to be read sequentially,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but also you could just grab an issue out of it and still be relatively okay with everything that's happening,
Right.
because everything that happens in that issue is in that issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's not a lot of cliffhangers.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do that, I recommend number 9. That's a really good one.
And we just get slowly introduced to a bunch of different characters throughout, you know, that may or may not have a bigger role later that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of human characters here and there too, like the weird professor.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. And his class of I'm just gonna say dickhead students.
Yeah.
Fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like throughout the entire thing, like there are all these celestials that are just popping up all over the earth to stand in judgments.
These giant monolith, like faceless monsters, robots with crazy Kirby headpieces.
Oh man,
they're so awesome. One of them has the formula of the destruction of the entire human race written on his thumb.
Yep.
That's badass.
That is pretty badass. Yep. Yeah, I would definitely say the Celestials are the most Jack Kirby thing that ever Jack Kirby like on a comic.
Yeah. Right? I agree.
Yeah.
They're pretty crazy.
Yep. You know, a friend of mine wanted to draw something to honor the Kirby birthday, and she wasn't quite sure what to draw. I said Celestial.
Yeah.
Because I think people should draw more Celestials.
Right?
I'm not going to. Because fuck that.
Maybe I'll draw one.
But yeah, you people, you other artists out there, you go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're amazing looking.
Yeah. I remember being so excited when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and there was just like a brief scene of Celestial.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the one with the thumb.
Yeah.
Like
was it? Oh, I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember its name, but
I think that is Arishem.
yeah,
I believe, the one with the thumb.
But I was like, hey, this is Celestial, to my girlfriend, who knew nothing about what I was saying, other than a possibly offensive term to Asians.
So yeah, so this volume that we read doesn't wrap everything up.
No, it does not. It definitely kind of ends on a cliffhanger of sorts, but also super dark.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the entire fate of the world is is in balance here. It's just like we're about to be judged by these beings who don't really feel any sort of connection to us.
Right.
So
they're just watching us as we go about our lives, when suddenly 2,000 feet tall robots show up and understandably, I would say, freak out.
yeah. We try to kill them.
Yeah. But
Oh yeah, like the U.S. government sends like missiles shooting at them, and as we would, as soon as we see something that looks different, we probably would.
Yep.
If peaceful, non-judgmental aliens show up, I'm sure we'll just try to nuke them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We will murder anything.
Yeah. Because we're dumb.
Yep. Yeah. And then the Eternals are they're trying to warn people to just leave these guys alone.
Yeah. Please.
You're gonna be fucked if you don't.
Yeah.
And of course, humans will be humans. I would say that's probably the core of this book.
Yeah.
That humans are just probably not great.
Thanks, Jack Kirby.
Yep.
Happy birthday to you.
So the art in this thing is amazing.
It's incredible.
I'm gonna say a little hard to read at times.
At times, but not as much as I expected,
Right.
honestly. Like, I thought it was going to be more of a chore, because I've read some stuff that he's written before, and I'm always like, man, he is an awesome artist when I'm done reading his
Right.
things. And I like the strangeness of it. I really do, but it doesn't flow as well as, like, I would like usually.
Right.
But this one I thought was a little better.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it gets wordy. It takes a while to read sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Definitely skip some captions here and there.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially some of them just got repetitive.
Mhm.
Like, literally, there was a character who says, a thing in a panel, and then 2 panels later, there's a caption.
Saying
describing
that,
the
right,
exact same
yeah.
thing. Dialogue's a little clunky, but, man, the ideas present and just the quality of the art alone just make it, like, so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Than, the words
It's
behind
so
it.
unique, yeah. Would you call it weird and lumpy?
Maybe.
Because in one of the back, one of the things written in the back of the book here was a quote from Neil Gaiman about how Jack Kirby didn't get it right because the book was so weird and lumpy, and that's why he was writing his miniseries.
Okay. Yeah. Because
He came off so pompous in that little quote.
yeah, I did not read that.
Especially weird and lumpy, okay, but he said Jack Kirby didn't get it right.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's
That's like a quote.
yeah. I'm I recognize that Neil Gaiman's a good writer,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah,
He's pretty pompous.
yeah,
Yeah.
like something like that. Just, I mean, you can say that it has its flaws for sure,
Sure, yeah.
but to say that he didn't get it right, he came up with it.
Yeah, yeah,
He got it right as best as he could.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he just seemed kind of like a dick when I read that.
Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah. And like I said, I read half of his Eternal thing.
Mhm.
The art's nice.
Yeah. Well, John Romita Jr.
Yep.
He is great.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth a read just to see Jack Kirby just full on, just powering through.
Just pouring it out.
Yep.
Pouring his crackly brain. You can just smell the Kirby crackle.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. And it's by far, I would say, the weirdest thing that he ever did for Marvel.
Yeah.
During his tenure.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. I think it's up there with, like, just the weird parts of, like, Silver Surfer comics.
Right.
Like, that's what it feels like to me, like, the weird stuff.
Yeah. Because in my Kirby buying spree, I also picked up Silver Star, his creator-owned series. That was like 5 years after this.
I have not read that.
I just thumbed through it, and it's definitely not as cosmic as this book is. Like it's definitely more of a air quotes grounded
You're right.
book. But it is also super weird.
Yeah.
And so it definitely reminds me of him just cutting loose.
Yeah.
And just doing weird bullshit.
I love to see him do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like his art, like that in the Days of the Mob book we read was awesome, but the weirder the better for Kirby, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I just like to see Kirby just unchained and just going for it.
Yep. He went for it, and he got it right.
Yep. Fuck you, Neil Gaiman. Of course, at the same time, I just kind of backtrack to maybe put a little bit of defense to Neil Gaiman here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the much-loved 90s comic Sleepwalker?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I remember that being advertised as Sandman done right.
That's awesome. That wasn't Jack Kirby's idea.
No, it wasn't Jack Kirby's
to do
idea,
that.
But yeah. So
that's funny.
Maybe
He was getting back at Marvel a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah. So if that's the case, then I'm on board.
Yeah.
But if he's just being totally serious about that, then he can go fuck himself.
Right. And we may never know, unless he's listening.
Right. Which if you are, come on the show.
Unless you're a Trump supporter.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Is he allowed to vote, though? I mean, he's a British citizen, right? Or does he live here now?
He lives here now.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he's probably a citizen here by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, like you can point out things in Jack Kirby's work that, you know, do not appeal to you, or you just don't think works quite right, but you just can't say that he got it wrong.
Right. Oh no,
he did.
It's beautiful. This book is a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've seen it over the years, and I was like, I don't know, I'll just buy his Run of the Demon or something, you know.
Right.
But like, yeah, no, it was a lot better than I expected.
I mean, I've got my certain Kirby books that I'm just like, I don't know. Like, Commandy is that for me, for sure. Like
Boy Commandos and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Challengers of the Unknown.
Right.
You know, Newsboy Legion. I'd rather not.
Right.
But, you know, at the same time, maybe they're gems like
this.
Right.
This is probably not one I would have just read.
Right.
But I'm really glad because, some of the characters and environments are so beautiful in this book.
Yeah. Double page spreads, man.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's the best at that.
Yeah. And just, like, every page, like, has, like, some weird Kirby thing on it.
Yeah.
Like,
some machine.
Every single page. Like a costume, a machine,
a town, a river, or whatever,
Yeah.
Something nuts.
Even normal looking things just don't look right.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, oh, that is clearly a video camera as envisioned by Jack Kirby.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great if some company designed, like, furniture Kirby style.
Oh, that would be... Oh, man.
Like a Kirby couch or Kirby TV.
Yep.
A Kirby laptop.
Yep.
That'd be amazing.
Why hasn't anyone done that?
I know, right?
Oh my god.
There should be like shells that you can just attach to your pre-existing things. That'd be great.
Oh my god, this is like $1,000 idea.
It really is.
Yeah. So the Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick it up somehow. Most likely in cheap bins.
Right.
Like
or digital.
Single issues or digital, yeah.
Because good luck finding it. You can buy the True Believer $1 copy of the number 1.
Yeah, number 1 just came out as a Marvel reprint.
Yeah. I guess maybe we could save like general Kirby talk for after the
Sure, yeah.
Alright, well, let's do that.
We're gonna go bake a birthday cake.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah.
If only we could make our candles have Kirby crackle.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be amazing. I'm sure someone's drawn that, right?
Oh,
a birthday
sure.
cake for him with Kirby crackle.
Yeah. Alright, we'll be back.
Waking up, I watch another sun go down. Another day spent underground in my world of pills. And I was thinking how the world should have cried on the day Jack Kirby died. I wondered if I'm ill, yeah. I'll never trust myself again, but I don't care. No. And just set that plastic soul on fire and watch it burn.
welcome back to the podcast.
Yo!
It's Jack fucking Kirby.
Jack motherfucking Kirby! The king!
In comics.
Yep. So, Kirby 100. Hashtag. So, yeah, I feel like a little bit of a hypocrite, because I've often said that...
Because you voted for Trump.
Well, there's that. I just thought he was going to make America great again.
Right? I mean, he said he would.
Right?
And he grabbed him by the pussy, and we're like, if that doesn't make things great,
Right?
what does?
I certainly know that I like to grab pussy.
Right.
Yeah. But, no, like, I've always said and felt that you shouldn't celebrate the birthdays of dead people.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Because it's just like, they're dead. Who cares? Yeah. Like, I don't know, it just seems weird, like, whenever I'd see, like, a Google, like, front
Right.
page image, like, like, it would be Mark Twain's 187th birthday.
Right. No,
Like,
I think the same thing when I see that.
Alright.
Well, maybe like a centennial, though. I mean, that's pretty special.
It is pretty special, yeah.
Like next year, fuck Kirby.
Right, yeah.
Next year, fuck that guy.
Yep.
It's all about Ditko next year. Hell, it's all about Sal Buscema next year. Who gives a fuck? Anybody but Kirby.
So next year I'm going to do the Sal Buscema 100.
Will he be 100 next year?
I have no idea.
No. He'd probably be.
Also, how many characters has Sal Buscema created? 2.
I don't know. Possibly.
The Iron Spider-Man costume.
He's probably created a handful, I would say.
Sure.
But not 100.
Yeah. So I saw a meme on Facebook the other day of, it was a picture of like like just fireworks and like explosions in the sky, and it was like DC celebrating Kirby's 100, and then like a picture of like an empty room. It's like Marvel celebrating Kirby's 100.
Like there's like one of the stock boys is like reading the True Believers and
right.
like while he's microwaving his sandwich.
It was like, yeah, like Marvel is really not stepping up to the plate here.
That's true. I mean, they did release all those True Believers like
sure
a couple of week or whatever, but yeah, DC went all out.
Yeah,
like they
got,
did
like,
miniseries and hardcovers and
like they're releasing like a lot of his out of print stuff that they had.
Yeah,
they're putting that out now. At least in the future. Like even through next year, they've still got stuff coming out.
Right.
Like Commandy Omnibus, which, despite a few minutes ago me saying like I'm not interested in Commandy, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because maybe it'll be great.
Yeah. It looks cool.
Yeah. But yeah, like they are. DC is pulling out the stops. And when you consider how much of one universe he built over the other.
He created a fair amount of DC things. Did he ever actually create anything at Marvel?
That Stan guy did.
Yeah, so Stan did. And like Jack, he would tell Jack what to draw. In fact, I heard that Stan actually drew a lot of those comics.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And Jack Kirby just signed his name on it.
Stan did put out that book, How to Draw the Marvel.
That's true. Jack probably read that.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, it is amazing the amount of things that he created that is still like 50 years later super popular.
Right.
Like in the pop culture, not just in like the nerd circles.
Right.
Like it's crazy. Like and I think
and he gets almost no credit for
it. Oh yeah. And like like nobody that's just watching the movies even knows who he is, but there's a surprising number of people who are just kind of into comics that, like they come in a lot to my store that had no idea the amount of stuff that he creates. Like even people that work there. I mean, granted, it's not like our comic book specialists or whatever that work there, but like people that are like read a little bit of comics that work there had no idea because I've sang his praises.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's just insane the number of things that he created that are still huge,
right?
And have been,
yeah.
like, consistently for decades.
And,
who else does that? I mean, Liefeld. Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, for someone who does not get the credit that he deserves for it, you know, yeah, there's an amazing amount of stuff out there that is his.
It'd be like if everyone walked around singing Eleanor Rigby but had no idea who wrote it.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it would be like.
Yep.
People didn't know who the Beatles were, but they sang their songs all the time.
Yeah, that is a great analogy. And I mean, like, even, you know, when I wasn't particularly a fan of Kirby, like, at least I knew.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Like his...
I knew his contributions, I knew what he did, and what he did for them. But, you know, like, I wasn't, like, a huge fan of his art. And I think that's the thing that always, you know, blocked me from it.
Right.
But then...
It's so incredibly stylized that you instantly either get it or you don't.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know...
You
might warm up to it, but it's not something that you just kind of, like, go with the flow on. I mean, it's a real specific style.
Yeah. And you know, like, I think I've said this numerous times, just like at some point, just like whatever it was, I don't know when it happened, like what the exact moment was, but it was just like, click, it's there.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, oh, wait.
Were you high?
No.
Because most things in my life that click after a long time are when I've smoked a little weed.
Sure.
I'm like, I understand the Racerhead, the movie. The story it's like as clear as a bell. It was good weed.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it can happen, you know, where just after such a long period of time, like, you can just get it one day, you know? And that's me, like, you know, especially with him. But, you know, like, the downside to that is that once you have that moment, then you just realize, like, how much of the spotlight Stan has stolen from him.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And part of me wants to just shit talk Stan Lee, but
it's been done a lot.
yeah.
I mean, even by us.
And also, like, he just lost his wife.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna lay off that for a while, you know. But, you know, I definitely think Kirby needs to be talked about more.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, like, he's been brought more to the forefront, like, this year because of his, you know, centennial.
Right.
And again, yeah, like, I mean, another thing that I see a lot on the internet is, you know, like one of those sort of motivational kind of things is like, hey, you know, Jack Kirby created the Fantastic Four in his 40s. And it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, that, you know, it's supposed to be like, yeah, it's never too late to be awesome. And you can definitely say that, like, from that point, like, from the point of the Fantastic Four through the 80s, like, Kirby was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, like, him through his 60s or 70s.
I know, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, take motivation from that, take inspiration.
Yeah.
But also never forget the fact that he was 20 when he created Captain America.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah.
So it was in the 30s.
Yeah.
And it's still culturally relevant.
Uh-huh.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, like, other than, like, Dracula, there's not much else that you can say that about.
No, Dracula, Frankenstein, Captain America.
Right?
Batman.
Yeah. That's about it. Superman. But, I mean, even he's kind of like, you know.
He drifts in and out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely my favorite artist ever, Jack Kirby, and, I wish I could have met him and to tell him exactly how much I fucking love everything he did and everybody that he inspired.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people that he inspired have done, you know, an equal amount of amazing work that he did.
Right.
But it took that many people to do an equally amount of amazing work as that one man, and I fucking love that guy for that.
Right. Yeah. So you know, when was the first time that you saw Kirby and said, "Oh,
it was about a week ago. I saw this book when you told me. Yeah, I was like, who is this? No, I can remember when I was like maybe like 12 or 13. I was riding around in a car with my cousin John and my brother, and we were on our every Thursday or Friday we would go to comic shops around the area. We would hit like 3 or 4 of them, and I remember distinctly I was like in the back seat reading one of the comics I bought, and it wasn't a Jack Kirby comic. It was probably like Flaming Carrot or something.
Right.
But we were driving around, and I remember they were talking in the front seat about Jack Kirby and just how like they didn't get it and how overrated he was, and like they're just not really a fan. And I remember like
so just asshole teenagers."
Yeah, and I mean even then Jack Kirby was not my favorite artist.
Right.
Art Adams was.
Sure.
But I was like, I remember like I stopped reading whatever it was, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like what? Like I remember thinking like that was the most absurd thing I'd probably ever heard.
Right.
And like I think from that moment forward I paid a little more attention to Jack Kirby and was like, they're so wrong, you know? But I remember even then thinking like, you know, he's great. And he's not one of my favorite artists, but he's great. And then, you know, I'm sure by the time I was a teenager, he was my favorite artist. So,
like the thing is, like I was like your cousin and your brother, you know, like as a teenager.
Oh, you're still like my brother.
Well, I know, but mentally, you know, at the time, I was just like, yeah, Jack. I mean, I don't get Jack Kirby. He's just,
right.
Like his art's weird and blocky and kind of ugly.
Right.
It's like it's super cartoony. You know, give me Neil Adams any day.
Yeah.
And Jim Lee is the shit.
Yeah. And it's all,
all objective.
Yeah, it's all objective, and it changes over the years. Like I said, he wasn't my favorite artist back then, and he is now, and who knows, 20 years from now, some other person I've never heard of might be my favorite artist. But yeah, I mean, you
know, I used to hate Mike Mignola.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a taste change.
Yeah, you kind of like him now.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing, like, a lot of people sort of take for granted is that, you know, that tastes do change, and like just because, you know, 10 years ago I'd have been like, I really don't care about Jack Kirby, and now I'm like buying everything of his that I possibly can.
Oh, which is kind of a huge endeavor.
Yeah. And but you know, like you know, there could be a person who'd be like, well, I thought you didn't like Jack Kirby, you know, and why are you doing this now?
Right.
And then it's just like, well, I mean, I changed.
Yeah.
You know, and like some people I don't think get that.
Oh yeah, no, I my most vivid like relation to that scenario is I remember when I was in high school, when in my freshman year of high school, I was wearing a Gwar t-shirt to school, and this punk rock kid started talking to me and befriending me because he was like, "Wow, you like Gwar? That's awesome." And I was just like a metal kid.
Right. And
he tried to turn me on to all kinds of punk rock. Like he went over to my house and he loaned me a Dead Kennedys Bedtime for Democracy cassette tape. And he's like, "If you like Gwar, you're gonna love this. Like this is the same thing." And I was like, "Oh, awesome!" And so, like, I took it
first of all,
right? I know. So I took that cassette home, and I was like, "Oh, sweet!" And I put it in, and I started playing it, and I was like, "What? This is just fucking noise. Like this isn't even what?" And I took it back to him. And was like, "I don't know, man. I didn't really dig it."
Right.
And I was listening to like more like just metal stuff. And then a few years later, I think I was maybe still in high school, or maybe just out of high school, but Alternative Tentacles, the Dead Kennedys record label, put out a CD called Virus 100. It was their 100th release, and they had all these different artists covering Dead Kennedys songs. I didn't know that, but I happened to see it at a record store, and I was like, oh wow, this has Faith No More and Sepultura and L7, all these bands on there.
I was unaware of this record existed.
Yeah, so I bought it, and I was like, this is fucking great. And I was reading the liner notes, and I realized all these songs were Dead Kennedy songs just being covered.
Right.
And so I started buying some other records because I was like, that song's awesome. I want to hear it. And then, like, I began to really appreciate where they were coming from and to love them.
Right.
And so, like, 2 years later, I had a Dead Kennedys t-shirt on because I was now a fan.
Sure.
And I stopped some random gas station to get gas. And who was the man behind the counter but the punk rock kid from high school? And he, like, gave me such shit about, he was like, basically subtly calling me a poser
Right.
for wearing the Kennedy shirt, and like just trying to be like so pompous about it, but not in a like I'm joking around with you, buddy, kind of way, but like in
Being an ass.
a real dick, yeah. And I left there thinking like I didn't even bother to explain to him. I was like, I don't owe him any sort of explanation
Yeah.
because this is what I like.
Right.
I didn't like it then.
You like it now.
I like it now.
Yeah. It happens.
It does,
Yeah.
right?
And if only you could see you now with your Wonder Woman t-shirt.
Right? I do have a Wonder Woman t-shirt on. I was laughing. I was like, I do have a Wonder Woman t-shirt. I just have Wonder Woman's great, but I have this because Darwin cooked her it.
Well, sure.
And, but yeah, so if Rob Ruland is listening, I'm not going to call you out on the air or anything, Rob Ruland, but fuck you.
Yeah, it's just the way it happens sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And sometimes it takes longer than others.
that's true. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, never at all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's things that, like, I wrote off, like, oh, that sucks, when I was, like, 20,
Right.
and I've never given it a second chance because I remember it sucking,
Right.
but it might be, like, my favorite band ever,
Right.
and I've just, like, ignored it for 20 years because
Yeah.
I'm sure that happens.
I'm pretty sure that there's, well, I mean, like, I can definitely point out one thing that, like, I saw, like, when Firefly came out. Like, I saw the first episode. I was like, wow, this TV show is fucking terrible. And then, like, like years later when it was released on DVD, my friend was like, just give it a shot. And I was like, fine, whatever, just get off my back. And I watched it and fucking loved it.
Right.
I mean, it happens. Like, just,
Oh, yeah.
like, you could just be having a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. Or like with the Dead Kennedys thing, like your expectations are coming from a certain angle.
Right.
I was like, oh, sweet, this is going to be like weird metal with
Yep,
like crazy, hilarious lyrics. And it wasn't at all.
Like, I could not think of, I mean, there's some similarities, but for the most part, cannot think of two different sounding bands.
And having listened to the Dead Kennedys for about 20 years now, I can tell you that's their worst fucking album. So thanks for like trying to start me off there. That is by far the worst thing they ever put out.
Right.
Bedtime for Democracy, it's their worst. But anyway, so just,
Yeah.
things to think about if you're trying to turn somebody onto something. But
Yeah. So yeah, Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby. Happy fucking birthday, Jack Kirby.
Damn right.
I'm glad you picked this, and timing-wise,
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah, I've been sort of living and breathing Kirby for the last 8 months now, so.
It would be really cool if you did some sort of like drawing based on one of his characters or something, because you are an artist.
I am, I try to be.
I mean, if you would have only thought of that, that would have been fitting.
Yeah, I never think ahead.
Right.
And it's been a pain in the ass. Like, I just recently did day 937 on my blog.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh man, that would have been the perfect opportunity to do like something Dayton related.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah.
That would be perfect. That's our area code.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because I'm a dum-dum, and I can't think ahead.
Right, it happens.
Yeah.
Eventually you might get it.
But in all actuality, I've been drawing 100 Kirby sketches.
Right. They're on your blog,
They are.
or most of them.
At this point, yeah, I'm just a few days away from wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
So today today would be the 28th. So today I posted 6
Yeah,
New Gods drawings,
nice.
and every single thing I've done, and the next one in these last few days, all available for $5 each, and all the proceeds will go to the Hero Initiative.
Which is they take care of comic book creators who are out of work.
Yep.
And sometimes in ill health,
Yeah.
who could really use the money.
Exactly. Someone like maybe a Jack Kirby at some point could have used.
All right.
That said, there are like 5 or 6 that have been claimed, and the rest are available, so get you some.
Yeah, get you some Kirby by way of Schonborn.
Yeah. I apologize that I drew them.
I know.
Not Kirby.
It would have been so much cooler if it was Schonborn by way of Kirby.
Right?
Like
Oh, absolutely. All my famous characters.
Yeah. The ones that have endured for decades.
Yep. But no, like, because, so, like, I've been drawing a lot of Kirby characters.
Yeah, you have. I've seen you draw a lot of Kirby characters.
And some of them not as well known as others. Some of them that I deliberately chose not to draw, like Iron Man, for
Right.
whatever reason. I chose not to, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, but you pull a lot of obscure,
Yeah.
crazy ones out of the bag.
Sure. And I did a lot of the big ones that I think are just distinctively Kirby.
Like the Punisher.
Like the Punisher. Yep. Frank Castle was weird, y'all. Super weird. Like while doing it, I'm looking up, these characters, because sometimes I don't actually know what they look like until I look it up. But I would do that, but then I would also do a secondary search for that character name and Kirby to see how he drew it originally.
For sure.
And every single time, I'm just some of the costume changes that people have made over the years, just unnecessary.
Yeah, right. Like he got it right early on.
Yeah. And then also, man, I wish I drew more like Kirby. You're stuck with my shitty version of these characters if you're buying any of them.
I think they're very fitting and awesome. He would be proud.
Some of them are good. Some of them I really rushed through and should have taken more time. But I've only been working on this since December.
Right? No, it's impressive. It's an impressive tribute.
Because then there's guys like Phil Hester who are, drawing 100 in a day.
And that's impossible. I don't believe him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe over the span of a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, that's
It's ridiculous.
it's hard to imagine. Yeah.
It's also, he doesn't have a day job, so that is his day job.
Right. Yeah. Is he doing just head sketches though, or? Because you're doing full body, sometimes with backgrounds.
Yeah. I think he's doing mostly head sketches.
Yeah. Maybe you could do 30 of those in a day or whatever.
Probably. Yeah. And I think he's also doing a lot by request too. So he's not drawing 100 different characters.
Yeah. Right.
He's just drawing 100 Kirby sketches.
Oh, he's good. Yeah. Nothing wrong with him.
Nope.
But he's no Eric Johnmore.
Exactly. Phil Hester is horning in on my 100 Kirby's hashtag.
Yeah, he's trying to tag along there, ride your coattails.
I'm glad that I eventually saw the light.
Yeah.
On Kirby. And
Well, praise the Lord.
Exactly. And my wallet, however, has not been so great about it because I'm buying a lot of shit.
Well, yeah,
I should not be buying.
Not only did he do an amazing amount of books, but like you said before, a lot of them are out of print.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've been lucky with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Eternals is pretty much the one that kind of fucked me the most.
Mm-hmm.
But Marvel, get on that shit. Reprint some of this stuff.
What are they waiting for? His 110th birthday?
Right, yeah. I think they're reprinting, his Inhumans stories.
But that's probably just to coincide with the TV show.
Most likely,
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then, I feel like they put out some of those Epic collections, which has some of his stories in them, but not definitively these are Jack Kirby stories.
Yeah.
Whereas DC is here's a 1,000-page book of the New Gods, everything that he ever did.
Right?
Yeah.
They're treating him so good.
Yeah. Which is weird when you consider that as DC.
Yeah, usually I think of DC as more of the money grubbing kind of, but who knows?
Disney.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well. But it's weird that because Disney honored Jack Kirby with some sort of Hall of Fame kind of thing.
Oh, yeah?
Recently.
I didn't know that.
Which is that's cool, especially, on the centennial, but, at the same time, you didn't work for Disney. You just bought the shit that he made from somebody else.
Didn't he Fleischer? That's who he worked for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're harboring a grudge.
Yeah, it could be. Ooh, good call.
Yeah.
Man, I just felt like I had something else to say, and it just literally left my head.
Was it about farts?
Could have been... No.
Okay.
Sharts, though.
Ah, yes.
Penis Fest?
No one could shart like Kirby. That's what it was. With those 20-hour-long marathon drawing marathons
Right.
in the basement with the cigars.
Like, I know you and I and our friend Joe G have all made attempts at doing 24-hour comics.
Mhm.
And I know that Joe G and I have given up, like, halfway through.
Mhm.
Like, how in the fuck?
Right? Yeah. I know.
And then
That's
to do that,
like that's
daily.
his daily routine. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well, I read that what he did was he would get up super early and he would draw until like I want to say sometime in the afternoon when his kids got home,
yeah.
and he would spend time with them, like play with them and eat dinner, and then he would go back downstairs and draw like till like way in the night,
Right.
and then he would get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and then he would do it all again.
Yeah.
But that was his routine.
Yeah. I mean, if I had a job in comics, I would probably work nights, I would assume.
Yeah.
Because I'm much better at night.
Mm-hmm.
At least I used to be. Now that I'm nearing 40, I'm definitely feeling my age
Right.
and getting sleepy at like 8.
Yeah.
Or 4. Or 10 a.m. I also only get like 4 hours of sleep a night, so I'm fucking myself. All for a job that I don't particularly care for.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure if that was your day job, you would hit it harder. But man, I don't think anybody has ever matched Kirby.
Absolutely not. Like, I think I remember, like, a few months ago, like, there was, like, this, like, list of, like, page outputs of, all the different artists.
Kirby was number 2, though.
Yeah, I know. That was so weird.
Yeah.
Who was
Kurt Swan, I think.
Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I think he started working earlier than Kirby.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And, no offense to Kurt Swan, I think he's a fine artist, but he's no Jack Kirby.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, if Jack Kirby could go back and redraw the faces of all the Supermans that Kurt Swan drew, I think the world would be a better place.
Maybe that's where the page count is coming from. All the Superman faces he had to redraw.
That's true. It
He's
could
like
be.
counting them as his own.
Yeah.
And those are actually Kirby pages.
Right?
Oh, Kurt Swan gaming the system.
Oh man. One other thing too about Kirby before we stop talking about Kirby, I guess. But
Let's never stop talking about Kirby.
we shouldn't ever. But a lot of people have mentioned over the years how his artwork it makes it quite obvious that he was really into drugs.
Yeah.
But he was not.
No, absolutely.
Like I read in interviews and he was friends with Frank Zappa, who also was a very creative and productive person who you would think was really into drugs,
right.
but he was not.
Right.
So sometimes this just happens.
Yeah.
Where the stuff you put out looks really trippy and weird and unlike any other human, but sometimes people are just really creative.
I think it could be they're just tapping into something that may in fact be otherworldly. Not to get all supernatural and philosophical, but like maybe there's just something wired in their brains that they're able to just get it.
Oh yeah.
And see the world differently than the rest of us.
And I think some people who are really into drugs, at least like acid or weed, they do kind of tap into their creative side when they're like immersed in that. But some people don't need that.
Yeah.
They're
well,
just
like for those people, it's like this is the key that unlocks that.
Yeah.
Whereas like someone like Kirby and Zappa are just like, I'm just here.
yeah. My door's unlocked.
Right.
Yeah. I don't need a key.
I need a key.
Yeah.
And I have not found it yet. So good luck to us.
Yeah. We're trying.
Yeah. We are very trying.
Well, I guess is it time to pick another book then?
It is.
I definitely don't want to pick anything that's like, some sort of modern day version of Kirby. So I just figured I'd pick something completely different.
Okay.
So
Ooh, it's on a paper.
I had to write it down. Yeah, that's how unfamiliar I am with it. So I think we should read Snow Day by, I'm guessing I'm going to get these names wrong, but written by Pierre Wazam and drawn by Antoine Aubin.
Alrighty. Never heard of this.
I think it's a European book. It's a humanoids publication.
Okay, yeah. Well, that raises it up a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Because immediately I just thought it would be like some sort of weird, like, autobio sort of navel-gazing kind of thing, which would be the exact opposite of a Kirby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if Humanoids is publishing it, I'm going to guess there's probably a little sci-fi aspect.
Not that I know of.
Okay,
I mean, I've kind of flipped through it, and it looks pretty much like what you just described.
Alright.
So.
I'm sure Alejandro Jodorowsky is spinning in his grave.
Right.
I believe he's still alive, but yeah, alright. I'm not vetoing.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's a snow day.
Snow Day by some French dudes.
Probably. Who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know.
I would guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pierre and Antoine, so yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Cool.
Cool. Alright. Kind of anticlimactic.
That's our style, though.
Also true.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go get some food.
Yeah, we're really hungry.
Yeah.
That's probably part of it.
Alright then. Happy 100th birthday to Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
And come back next week for Snow Day.
Yeah. Both of those things are true.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.